they're aware how much potential you have when you go it alone. They saw it in you when they first met you. Although you may have felt like you dived deep into it and stuff like that, really they could see you as in your own lane. You was different. You was cut from a different cloth. They could tell this about you. So they certainly don't want you finding comfort by yourself now. Chosen ones, empaths, and all the genuine souls. This is the huge misconception. Everyone thinks that when a narcissist goes on with their life, parts you aside, discards you, whatever, that they don't want you to move on. Okay, I've spoken to numerous people in sessions. I'm telling you, a huge indicator to the narcissist when they see you rush on quickly after relationships is they've settled. Okay, remember the narcissist, when the discards happen, ghosting or abandonment, their heads in the clouds. Right? They feel like they've got all of your light, all of your energy, and they're full of enthusiasm. So when they're seeing you settling quickly, jumping into relationships, doing all these things to try and provoke them, they can see straight through it. Now, what they know about you is most likely when you met them, you wasn't in need of so much company. Okay, many chosen ones, I don't know if all of you are going to agree with this, put it in the comment section if you're different or your story, because I always read through the comments. When you're younger, you may have even been affiliated with a lot of people, but you always liked your alone time. You always liked rolling solo or doing your own thing. Okay, going back to childhood. I remember when I was in childhood, friends would knock on the door to play a PlayStation game. And I'd say, no, I'm playing it by myself. You know, I remember doing that as someone young. So what you got to understand is we fall into these toxic relationships. Not just romantic, it can be friendships, colleagues at work, bosses. You can fall into these dynamics with people. And what you got to start to embrace is a lot of these relationships are transactional. They're in there to get a benefit from you. Okay? And the narcissist is fully aware of that because that's the game they play. They're in relationships to exploit the other person, to take advantage of the other person. Sociopaths and psychopaths are the same. They're there to exploit the other person. So when they're aware that it's transactional relationships, right? That's what they see. But they don't want you to see that way. Because if you see that way, you're never going to let them back in your life. You're going to be completely content. You're not going to miss them. You're not going to long for them. You're not going to long for a friend or a romantic relationship or a boss or an old job. You're going to see them as toxic. You're going to trust that. A lot of you don't understand, but the chosen one is isolated from the rest of the people. So you go on a journey of self-discovery, and you advance and you ascend and you grow. Okay? Honestly, you become unstoppable. Alright, I'm not saying I've achieved an awful lot, but I've done a lot when I wasn't around people, such as working abroad, such as starting a business, such as doing YouTube, such as finding better jobs and things like that, right? You realize that there's an awful lot of distraction. You can have good friends, you can have good romantic relationships, you can have all of that, but I just think it takes a little bit more time to build that. Okay, I think it takes a little bit more time to build those things. What I will say watch out for is when you're on the journey of developing and stuff, and you are keeping, because I can't be the only one who's doing this. I know, put it in the comment section if you're doing this. Like when you're spending time alone, you may drift into old habits or old patterns momentarily, and then you come away from it. What I need all of you to embrace is this is a divine path that you've been blessed to walk. Okay, I've been coining it the lone wolf empath, but really it's a lot deeper than that. Really, that's just something that I was trying to describe. This path that you're on, you only have to go through the scriptures to see. I know not all of you are religious and stuff like that, but just take it as mythology. Whether you take it as mythology or fact or law or whatever. Many of God's chosen spent these periods of time alone. So there's something which and even if you study, like, many of you would have heard of Nikola Tesla and people, Nietzsche, and people that spent these periods of time alone, and a lot of their works is still focused on now in the core of philosophy or certain studies and stuff. So there's a huge amount of benefit. There's a huge amount of benefit, right, to being alone. And the narcissist doesn't want you to realize this, because you're gonna thrive. You're gonna thrive, and they know there's no way back in. Narcissists always want an open door. They feel more comfortable if there's an open door back into your world, if they so chose to. And that's what all of you have to overcome when it's not an open door. Your life's not an open door, and God or the universe will present something where they know it's not an open door as well. Okay, they might do some baiting one day, they might do some provoking, and you reject them, and they'll get all in their feelings and huge narcissistic injuries. Because they were the one that discarded you or ghosted you or abandoned you. And it doesn't just have to be romantic relationships. It can be friendships, families, whatever. They'll experience these injuries when they try to navigate back towards you. So, please embrace that this being alone, the situation you're in, you need to find complete wholeness in your own company. Okay, I've spoken to people in sessions that, like, go to the cinema by themselves, go out and eat by themselves, right? Do things like that. Like, I've done that, gone out and eat by myself. That's why when I worked abroad, that helped a lot, because I was eating out, I was alone, I would go to the shops alone, I'd do these things. There was colleagues and stuff, but I just chose to walk instead of going in a van full of, I didn't really want to look like a tourist and stuff, turning up to these shops and stuff. I just wanted to be on my own, you see, and it worked better. So all I'm saying is there's so much potential for you now if you choose this solitary path. And the narcissist is gonna, like, they'll settle with dusty friends and dusty minions, and they'll settle in life, and they'll realize that you've still got so much more of a journey and ambition and drive to hit these high heights that you're aiming for. And that's what I want you all to really kind of focus in on. Okay, validation from someone else is not the be all end all to feel sufficed in this life. Okay, validation from someone else. Remember that you are misunderstood as a chosen one. People don't understand you, right? The things you do, God understands in His sight. Even things that you do, you don't understand why certain things play out, but it's happening for the best for you. All right, so trust the process. Okay, I want you all to trust the process. I used to coin this about trusting the process before, but even if you're in the midst of hurt and pain and loneliness and everything, that trust the process. You have to be strong to persevere through this. Many people from all economic classes, from all races and everything like that across the world struggle to master this concept of finding fulfillment and being alone. Okay, it's so many people, and they fall into toxic friendships, toxic patterns, toxic this as coping mechanisms to live that life. And really finding fulfillment by yourself is the number one aim. But just what I'm saying is you can have a wave of a different path. And I think it's the enemy that tries to sway us off track. So anyway, thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate the support. Please book a session if you'd like to. If you'd like to donate or support to the channel, you can. Check out the spiritual channel for more content. All links are in the description box below. And I'll be back on another video soon. Peace.